Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. And in this video, we're going to keep building the dashboard starter kits. So we're going to straight go in this case, I'm currently in Prisma PHP documentation website. So I'm going to get into docs. And as you can see, we have still maintaining the same version. But I want to show you quite, I think, two things in here in class usage menu section. You're going to come in the env in this case, and you can read it. This is a new class, new way of getting your environment system. I explain in later video, but well, this is just recommend is the recommended way to you get your the env file information. So reintroducing this way of getting your information from the end file. Okay, next thing, today we're going to start talking about now building the dashboard starter kit. In this case, we're going to focus on the sidebar menu or the top bar menu and see how we're going to build in this case, because I'm going to start installing components step by step. And so we're going to start excluding or including no excluding files, because some files is going to be overwritten when you update the framework or when you install the dashboard starter kit. So when you want to use this dashboard starter kit, in this case, you're going to come in this case, you're going to just copy this and you can go to your ¿ah?
La música sigue, pero tú no te ves.
Yo creo que posiblemente es por el retraso. Revisa bien. Hay como una especie de delay.
Ya hace rato iniciaste, ¿no?
¿Mm?
Ya hace rato iniciaste.
Sí, un ratito. Yo me estoy viendo allá en el video, sí. Sí.
Ahora
Ya.
sí.
Sí, dilató, eh. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy the command, paste in this case. You can copy and paste to your, in this case, command line terminal. And remember always you need the where you want to install in this case. So I'm copy and I'm going to call in this case my dashboard, but you can name it whatever you want. So press enter. Remember in previous version, there was an issue. The dashboard can't get installed in this case when you launch the install command from a starter kit. So in this version, in this case, in this current version, specifically, let's go get started. And in this version, 4.4.7, the issue it's get fixed. So currently, as you can see, I'm installing the dashboard starter kit. So let's see what about. And there we go. There we have the installation success. So I'm going to go into the directory. So I'm going to open with VS Code now. And let me close this because this is just for this testing. So now what you want to see is that, remember I said that I'm not going to I tell that the framework is not going to overwrite the .env file. In this case, if you see in my .env file, let's okay. I know what I think I know what is happening currently. How I say that the .env file is not going to be overwritten. In this case, we don't get the .env file. As you can see, there we go. So the .env file, it's been ignored because, let's say, imagine that he think that the .env file was included in the repo. So that is the next thing we need to fix. But next, what we're going to do is that, as you can see, we need the schema that Prisma we tell that we're not going to touch. But the next thing what we are need to explicitly tell that should be ignored is that the global.css should be ignored. In the index, I'm not going to say that should be ignored. Um, Either the layout in this case. So those files should be ignored. There's not going to be any issue about this because this is custom files, not part of the core in this case. So there we go. Now we have the free way of doing our things. So just the issue in this case about the .m file. So be aware that when you say ignore the .m file, if you don't have in your project the .m file, you're going to have an issue in this case because this doesn't exist in this case. So we're going to fix it in this case. But in our current project, which we are working in the dashboard, in this case, where we go there, here in this case, the real project, in this case, Prisma PHP dashboard, we have our .m file, we have this. So we're going to start working on this. But as you can see, the error of installing the dashboard starter kit in your directory, or starting with a starter kit project, it's installing. So we're going to fix in this case with the .m files and things like that. So what we need to do in this case, I'm going to close this. In this case, in Prisma PHP.json, what I'm going to say that because I don't want when it installing the global.css should be touched. So let's say that I don't want that you should not touch this file. That's all in this case because I don't want next thing, what I don't want this to be touched, because remember we do a configuration here in this case. So I think I'm going to say that don't touch in this case the src/library, and in the authentication in the out config file. I know this is the core file of authentication, but how I update it in this case, how I modify that the auto refresh and the arrow should be private. I don't want the framework should be touched in this case, should touch this file. So the good part is that this file, this both file are going to be included in this case. So if there any other package installed, it's going to ignore because it's not part of the core. Okay, so well, in this case, well, I think I'm going to see what should I do if the .m file not exists. In this case, if in the repo the .NET file it not exists, should be created. I think that going to be that the good installation program, like say good installation experience, because if the .NET file is not included in the repo, will create in this case, and then maybe the user going to modify. But in previous update, in this case, maybe next update, you are not going to be touching that. So in the installation, maybe if that exists, install or create in this case. Okay, so we're going to do that in next video, but in this video, we're going to start seeing some npm run left. So as you can see, I ignored this file, in this case, the global and the out file, this out configuration file. Those files are ignored now. Okay, we're going to open our site, and then we're going to go to dashboard in this case. And as you can see, automatically I'm redirect to sign in this case, which is good. So I'm going to say 123 and enter invalid email. So 4, and there we go. Okay, as you can see, we already have our dashboard. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start, let's say, styling, things like that, because I want to go step by step. In this case, I want to focus, in this case, this section, sidebar section. So let me open the stitch in this case, stitch. Okay, there we go. In this case, well, let's see. This is our dashboard. Let's preview, new tab. Okay, we have dashboard, analytics, reports, teams, settings. And then we have this super logo and things like that. This is going to be, in this case, this is going to be our logo. So we're easy as this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start separating maybe sections in this case. So in my index files, I have a complete section in this case, as you can see. Okay, but when we start separating, in this case, the index files should hold only this section, I think, this content canvas. But we're going to start from, let's see, start, okay, I think this aside, which I'm going to say sidebar, side navbar. Okay, we're going to use this. Okay, so I'm going to cut this and then I'm going to create, in this case, you can create right um, direct to your dashboard, in this case, sidebar.php, and then you can paste it, save in this case. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go to the layout in this case, and as you can see, I have a div here, but what I'm going to do is that, okay, for now, go away, for now, just for this. So this is going to be, in this case, or we can put inside the div to have things like that. Any way can work. So well, for now, we're going to say that I want to import, in this case, clear PHP import component, because you should be using the import component in this case. In this case, path, which I'm going to get dashboard sidebar in this case. So when I get this, and currently as you can see, there is no sidebar. I'm going to save this and let's see what's come up. Okay, there we go. We have our sidebar there. So now I'm going to focus on working on this section. So I'm going to remove this comment section. And there we go. Okay, what next? Let's see. Okay, the icon, no? Okay, there we go. They say, I think this is the icon section in this case. Fill out as. Okay, let me just inspect this. Yes, that's the logo in this case. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just have it so um, img in this case, src, let's start if our icon, let's use but remember always to close because it's Prisma PHP. So we have a logo. In this case, I can simplify this to size 6. And wow, okay. Now it's looking good, eh? I don't know. You can name whatever you want. In this case, Prisma PHP. Um, Dashboard starter kit. Okay, Prisma PHP dashboard starter kit. I think so. Okay. Now, next, what we're going to do is that, as you can see, there we go. We have, let's say, the icon. So, I want to use these icons in this case. As you can see, this it's looking good. So I want consistency. So I want all icons which I use in my website should have the same way of I'm using this. So we're going to say PHPX UI, no, PP icons. So I'm going to search for PP icons and I'm going to go direct to PP icons in this case. There we go. And so I'm going to search for dashboard. There we go. I'm going to copy this line. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to install in this case. Paste this. And there we go. Now, instead of this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say dashboard, layout dashboard. There we go. Size 5. I think size 4 is more than good. But let's see. Here we go. We have our dashboard. As you can see, our icon. Now, for monitoring, we have the icon in this case. Let's see. Monitoring. So let's see. I think that is where we go? Analytics. Okay, so we're going to search analytics in this case. Ana banana. Okay, let's see. Charts. Okay, there we go. Let's see. It's going. Yes, it is. So I'm copy this, and now I'm going to copy and paste and chart. I don't know this name, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy the or the easiest way is that just remember the three words in this case. So it's the name is chart. There we go. Plus size 5. Save this. There we go. We have our dashboard in this case. So easy as this, we're going to start building our, in this case, I'm going to install the other icon, which is report in this case. And I think the name is almost explicit. So report in this case, no, in all, um, report. So this, I think this is going to be name. Let me see. Because that is, this look like a blank page, you know? Yeah, but in report, I don't see. Let's search for file in this case because it's a file in this case. So it's there we go. So file text in this case. So I'm going to install file text. And now in this report, we're going to use the file text plus 5 and tab. And in this next one, I'm going to install the theme, which is users. So I know it's users, users plus 5. Okay, the settings, there we go. Settings plus save. And there we go. As you can see, now we have our dashboard, analytics, report icons. And so let me see what about. Okay, this is like say rounded support icon. So circle. question, circle with question in this case. There we go. Okay, we have this. So let's put this. So there we go. We have a circle L, and the next one is log out. So let's see the icon. I don't know if the name is log out. Okay, yes, it's log out. Oof. There we go. Okay, now as you can see, we already have this icon. So name its logo explicitly off. Class size 5. And now I think we finish with this section. So now we have this small get section is a pro get unlimited and then the button. So what next? This is the pro and the button. So in this case, as you can see, the button, we're going to remove this complete because we have a button component in this case. There we go. Okay, we have our button, but in this case, this primary gradient xy. Okay, the issue with this is that as you can see, this primary gradient, it's defined by the stitch. In this case, it's a specific class, like in this case, um, primary dim, primary, let's see, it's a specific primary gradient. So there we go, primary container. We have the primary in this case. There you go, primary fix dim. So way over here we have the primary harness. So what we're going to do is that bg, in this case primary, and we can start from there. Let's see. Okay, and text, in this case text is going to be primary foreground. Let's see. No. Container. No. Okay, let's see. In this case, global primary. Okay, we have primary foreground is almost white. Why is not applying in this case? So background, in this case, the text, I think it's getting overwrite written in this case. So primary foreground and text more opacity. Okay, let's see what's in this case. Okay, so the text is not changing. No, text aren't So we're getting our right. So see, let's remove from here and it takes 10 pixels, export. Something is overriding in this case. And in this case to activate the rows. So I'm going to import requests. So what I'm going to do is that let's say current URL. So it's going to be request in this case. Get the let me see, in this case navigate to params path name. I think it's the path name. The path name. So the path name well, let's get the path name and we call. So nothing is going to happen because we comment in this case this. Okay, there we go. We have in this case current URL, it's dashboard. So let's say we navigate to another row, it's going to be dashboard slash and analytics. So let's create a child row in this case. So let's put this going to be the settings row. So settings in the .php and let's have a okay, let's have a p tag in this case and say hello from settings. There we go. So now in this case, when we go to settings, we want to navigate in settings page. So let's go to settings, that dashboard settings. There we go. So when I go dashboard settings, and there we go, settings in this case. So as you can see, we have the content hello from settings, but as you can see, this content is displaying in the current, but it's to the top, it's hidden, but you can see it's said hello from dashboard settings. Okay, next thing, what we want is that we want to remove from the main content, in this case, let's say this header from here. No, we're going to move that after. Yes, let's move this first. So this is the toes in this case. So let's say the toes go below the content. In this case, the index will have. Okay, now we have. Let's cut. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place right here, and this is going to be, in this case, inside the menu bar, inside the menu, and where is the content? Content canvas. So there we go. We're going to place right here, and I'm going to cut all this. When this class is active, we're going to leave the text indigo, and in this case, we're going to just copy and paste, because as you can see, this section, when it's not active, have this kind of so from where we're going to get the text slate. on the flex item we can do two things in this case. We can delegate this to PHP. So let's say we are active active URL. So we can say, let's say when it's active, we're going to do something, but the easiest way I think is that just we come to copy this. I'm thinking into anyway. We're going to go with PHP. So in this case, let's go. Not waste time. So we're going to copy this section. Have it in this case. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to say that this is going to be active. That's a variable in this case. So there we go. And the next, in this case, the dashboard is